Marketing is a function. Marketing is a business about understanding and delivering customer value, and that's everyone's job. One thing we do in marketing, we start thinking of ourselves as communication people. And the rest of the organization looks at we're communication people. We're about driving awareness, and that's what they think about us. They don't understand what we do, they don't agree with what we do, because we're not tied to the business. We're not focused on driving the business, we're focused on spending budgets, we're focused on all these little activities, we're thinking about innovation, we're talking about awareness, we're talking about all these things, and the rest of the organization doesn't understand what we're doing. And we get treated like a function, but we need to be part of the business. And that's what Brabeck was talking about when he said we need to put business in, we need to embed marketing into the business, but we also need to integrate business into marketing. Let's get on the same page about marketing. So I told you what marketing is not. Marketing is about selling more stuff to more people, for more money, more often, more efficiently. And when you talk about soft drinks, banks, mobile phones, it's all the same. My mentor at Coke, the chief marketing officer, said this to me many, many times, Sergio Zeman. And that's what my kind of mantra is. Marketing is about selling more stuff to more people. That's what you're supposed to do. The guy who's selling hot dogs understands that. But most marketers get caught up in saying, well, what I do is, get 30% reach and 20% awareness. Sergio's had this game. He'd ask people, what do you do? And you say, well, I'm the brand manager for Fanta. He goes, no, that's not my question. I ask, what do you do? I'm the Fanta brand manager. No, that's not what I asked you. And it'd just be terrible. There's 200 people in the room, this poor guy. I used to always train my people when they go into Atlanta. When Sergio asks you what you do, don't give him your job title. He's asking, what are you doing? And what you should say is, well, what I'm doing is trying to make Fanta more relevant to my consumers in my market. And to do that, I need to do this, this, and this, and I'm going to grow the business by 10%. That's what he wanted to hear. And finally, somebody would say that, and then that guy'd be the hero. But he was a game that Sergio played, but what he was really trying to get people to do is focus on what you really should be doing is growing the business, not on being a brand manager. Marketing's not about building brand awareness just for the sake of it, not about logos, graphics, or sponsorships, award-winning advertising campaigns, promotion brochures, all these things. It's not even about getting customers to love your brand. If you need your people talk about nurturing. Somebody told me one time, I want to get this product, and I want to nurture this product. I think, get a dog, get a friend. It's a brand. I talk about the Sergio guy. Yeah, check him out sometime on the web. He's kind of a crazy guy. But I go, Mike. I remember early in my career, I said, my job is to build our brands. And he goes, no, it isn't. This is the guy who's Time Magazine called the greatest marketing guy of the 20th century, saying brands aren't important. He goes, no, brands are just tools. You're supposed to grow the business. Brands happen to help you do that. They get the consumer come back. There's a lot of things brands can do, but at the end of the day, your job is not how to build brands. Your job is how to build the business. So it's about customer value. It's activated 360 degrees, good times and bad. When business times are down and you're going into a recession, that's the time you spend more money on marketing because everybody is running for cover, and that's when you want to go capture market share. It's about changing the dialogue from internal to external. Here's one of my favorite campaigns. Have you seen this? If you come in from Austria into Hungary, the Coke can's not there anymore. If you come to Austria and Hungary, you'll see a big board of this ad. And she says, one of us. And for more beauty, visit Budapest, a new capital of Europe. How does that make you feel? Who's the target? What's the benefit? Who do you think the target? You don't know much about Hungarian tourism, but neither does Hungarian tourism. So what do you think the target is for Hungarian tourism? By the way, Romanian tourism is not a lot better. You want to look at some of the worst marketing guys on the planet, they're usually in tourism, and they're spending a lot of money. I guess they like it, they start off as a lifeguard, then you move up to brand manager at the ski resort and whatever you happen. So they're not great marketers. But you know a little bit about marketing, just where you are. Who do you think the biggest group of tourists going to Hungary are? Take a guess. Huh? Get broader. What country do they think they're from? Forget about the ad, because we already know the ad's stupid. So don't try to figure the ad out. You can't figure the ad out. Who are the biggest group of tourists that go to Germany? Sorry, you slip. Germans. 45. They know this. 45% of the tourists going to Hungary are Germans. Now, knowing that Germany is in the West, who do you think are the people who spend most money on tourism? Guess. How old?
Over 60, over 60.
50, 60 is actually the right number, right? Who makes the decision in a typical German family about where they're going to go on vacation every year? Take a shot. Frau Schmidt. Now, imagine you're Frau Schmidt and you see this ad. That's the target. Now, what do you think she's going to go? Honey, we're going to go anywhere this summer except to Budapest. Because she's envisioning, we're going to go look, sit, have some coffee, we're going to get in touch with the kids. But no, Dad's going to be looking at her all the time. Miss Europe in 2003. Oh, we got to use that in our advertising. We won Miss Europe, we got to use that. One of us. It's internally focused instead of externally focused, and most companies are that way. They get so caught up in what their product does, they never think about what their product does for people. Steve Ballmer said, what did he say? It says, technology is all about what it does for people. Other than that, it's just science. And that he's absolutely right. It's what it does for people. How's a brand and how does it help you sell more stuff? Good question. Brands are the container for the total experience consumers have with your products, your company, and your services. That's what a brand is. It's the whole piece. A great brand is more than some of its parts. It delivers a promise. Once somebody told me a brand is a promise. I think that's a great, very concise definition. A brand is making a promise. I was telling you earlier about CEU. I said CEU is about advancing business education. I made a promise. I understood it as a promise because now I got to deliver on that promise. And that's what a brand does, because if a brand doesn't deliver on that promise, if CEU doesn't deliver on that education, what's the brand worth? Very little. And a marketer or a businessman needs to understand their brand is basically a promise and you better deliver on it. It's not about making false promises. It develops a relationship, and you can't develop a relationship unless you keep your promises. If you do a really good job, it becomes a symbol or an icon which all the brands are recognized against. Truth about the cola wars. What's the best tasting cola? I'm not sure I'm familiar with that brand. It's a local brand? What's the best tasting cola? It's not Pepsi. Huh? Yeah, nice try. That's blue. It's blue. There's a tent there. RC Cola. You ever heard of RC Cola? Probably wouldn't. They went out of business a long time ago, about 40 years ago, or 30 years ago. So they sold their formula. They had the best tasting formula. They sold their formula to a company called Cop Beverages. Ever heard of Cop Beverages? Cop Beverages is the #1 maker of private labels. So if you think about it, if you go buy Tesco Cola or Auchan Cola, pretty good chance it's Cop Beverages, which is the formula they bought from RC. And actually, the better tasting and blind taste test, Tesco Cola is going to beat Coca-Cola and Pepsi combined. Now, what happens when you bring, your mom comes in, and if you're a mom, you come home to your kids, you go, here we go, Tesco Cola. Oh, Mom, what happened? Dad get laid off? What happened? Mom's not cool. You got Tesco Cola? So it had nothing to do with taste. The best tasting cola? Coca-Cola. It's about emotional connections. I worked on the biggest marketing failure of all time, Coca-Cola, New Coke. Because we actually believed it was about taste. We did taste test and we lost. So we fixed it. We made it less carbonated, sweeter, and we won the taste test. And we lost the brand. Because the brand was about continuity, it's about inclusiveness, it's about optimism. It wasn't about taste. But you know, to this day, when we ask consumers why they drink Coca-Cola, you know what they say? Taste. But we know it's not true because it's difficult for people to express the emotions. If you think about if you love somebody, you can explain why you love somebody. It's hard to explain it. You can say why you like somebody, but it's hard to explain why you really love somebody. Or why you love a place. Or why you really like something, really deeply like it. How do you explain that? Because you really do, it's hard, it's emotional. And it's hard to express yourself emotionally. But as a brand, you got to know that. You know, Chinese proverb, it's been on my wall for 25 years. It's an old Chinese proverb. Somebody named Confucius. I say somebody named Confucius because there's lots of guys who were named Confucius. He said, tell them they'll forget, show them they'll remember, involve them and they'll understand. And that's what we've got to do. Most marketing is only on this level. My name's Bob, my name's Bob, my name's Bob, my name's T-Mobile, 15 times, everywhere you see. They're telling them they'll forget, if you can. But maybe they'll do it so much that you actually remember the damn name. But you're not involving them. You've got to drive purchase intent and drive purchase behavior, and that's involving them.